Well, bam, and welcome to the Nostalgia Train Book Club. It's me, Violet, your rat conductor of this train that's still chugging along. It refuses to die. And this month, we are joined by the lovely. Oh,
Hello.
Anne.
I never knew there was a point. Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. This, if I'm not wrong, was your pick.
Was it? I think maybe. I
That's
threw
why
a
I'm
fit-
asking.
I threw a fit into the Discord because Mars was like, "Let's do it in February," and I'm like, "No, I can't be there. Let's do it sometime else." And I feel like because both Mars and Sam are gonna be on, but now it's just us, because issues with timing and such. But it's fine. I did love this book. I feel like it's one of the like.
Oh, so it
holy-
wasn't your pick. You just wanted to be part of it.
Yeah. Was
Okay.
it
So yeah,
you?
I just.
I really don't remember. Yes, okay. Sorry. I'm gonna have to look at the other picks, but it's a good book. I feel like it's one of the like big five of like sad teenage stories that we read in like the 2010s. So
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, wait, let's do how we always do. Oops. Yeah, welcome to the book club, blah blah blah. The book is, where's the banner? The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Wow, you have a physical copy?
I do.
Wow. Okay. I gotta start with my history with this book. This is one of those books that I feel like you've just always heard of being around. Like you've always heard of Perks of Being a Wallflower. Like I don't know, just I feel like I've always known about this book, but I never knew nothing about this book. Like nothing. I was like, what does that even mean? And then I saw the movie, and here's the thing: I don't even know if I saw the whole movie. I maybe just saw chunks of the movie, like scenes of the movie. I don't think I sat down and watched this movie front beginning to end, not front to back. I think I just saw chunks of it. So if you would have asked me before I started reading it, what do I think Perks of Being a Wallflower is about? I would have said, there's an awkward kid and there's maybe some other kids. They one time go to a party and like scandalize teenage stuff. And there's one part where they do this in the car. And I'm pretty sure some edgy bad stuff happens, but I don't remember. And that would have been everything I remembered about Perks of Being a Wallflower. But there's parts reading I was like, oh, I remember that, or oh, I remember that. Oh yeah, okay, this come back to me. Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, when they brought that up, I was like, yes,
That's
okay.
so iconic.
I was like, okay, yeah, now I remember. So there were little moments like that, so that I remembered. But yeah. And you?
I love this book. As I said, I feel like back in the John Green puts out a million books and we all love them kind of days, this was one of them that, was in that like whole bubble for me. And I read this and I cried and then I read it again. And the poem that is gifted to Charlie, I remember this poem. I've remembered it for the past 10 years. I can quote it to you word by word. And yeah, I know. Overachiever, I'm sorry. And the movie, I feel like I think I saw that there was a movie before I read the book. I didn't watch the movie, but I know there was a movie, and I was like, okay, it has Logan Lerman and it has Emma Watson. I'm like, okay, I'm weirdly attracted to both of them. Where's this going? I need to read the book before I watch the movie. And then I did, and I feel like the book and the movie are two completely different vibes. But yeah, I think I like the vibes of the movie more, which is 1,000% do because this book is written in letters, and I hate books that are written in letter format. I hate it. I despise it.
Oh, I mean, I didn't have the appropriate banners for that, but yeah, we'll get there. Hold on, I just want to, say acknowledge that Sam was lurking, and what was this?
Don't worry. Stuff doesn't always work out. We are not blaming you. It's all
First
good.
read. Okay. Never seen the movie. Okay, we don't need banners. We can just get into it. What would you just said? The movie and the book. Oh, I should have had
they
that.
are different vibes. And I mean, obviously, the book is just one perspective. It's just Charlie writing from his own place to whoever, which we can discuss later. But the movie obviously is like so much fuller of all the other people. I feel like it's more lively because this just feels like I always just pictured him sitting somewhere writing about the experience, whereas in the book they're obviously doing the things as opposed to him sitting and writing,
Okay, this is a really great jumping off point. Like, I haven't seen the movie in forever, so I don't remember that per se. But um, as reading it, I was so shocked when he was dating these letters, and it was 1991. I was like,
Right.
what? 1991? Like, in my head, this is like a 2010s. Like, I was like, what? But I think the book was published in like 99 or quite later.
It was. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like 1991. So it's not like it felt super dated, but some things felt a little dated. So
I agree with you on like little parts, but for the overall thing, I feel like it was like the typical teenager experience that you'd have anywhere
yeah,
from like
some of
to
it's
the
get, like I said, a lot of the teenage school stuff is actually just quite timeless.
yeah.
I think what felt dated to me um was Charlie's the boy's name, right? Not that I
Yes.
just speak on my butt. Charlie. Is Charlie okay? Part of this is just because of his character, how we learn how he is. He felt like very naive, like a little bit too naive.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time reconciling, like, what, how could like a 14, 15-year-old boy, that's how old he is, and it's right,
Yeah.
be that naive. And I was like, okay, well, actually, when you don't have like the internet and but he had older siblings, which I was like, come on, dude. Like, I also was okay, I was a baby in that time in the early 90s. I was not a high schooler, but I learned a lot just from having older siblings, that they let you know the birds and the bees and the what's in
Right.
the
And I feel like his siblings did a poor job of that. There's this scene where they're having a party at their house, right? And like he's in the closet, and then these two people come in and they're like start making out and stuff like that. And then his sister's like, "Why didn't you stop?" And he was like, "I didn't know what was going on." And I was like,
yeah, and the way he described it, I was like, oh, what? Like,
yeah.
okay.
Like I believe
Um,
Charlie that he had no idea what that was and what was going on. Like he was just like, "What's happening?" But at the same time, I'm like, None of your siblings have talked to you about this, like, at all? Have shown you anything?" Especially because his sister did have a boyfriend and he ratted her out, right? So, like, he know that
yeah.
there's relationships, but that's where they draw the line?
Yeah, so that was kind of a weird part of the writing for me, was his POV perspective, where yeah, where I was, yeah, breaking my how do I always phrase this wrong, my ex, you know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
disbelief. Yeah, I was getting hung up on that. Is this realistic or not? Contemporary will always date itself because pop culture. Yeah, but I do think a lot of the stuff did seem a little bit timeless, just the high schoolness of it.
Yeah,
Um,
I also feel
a
like
lot of it
they
could have been 2010s hipster.
right. Like, things like Rocky Horror Picture Show, like, that's iconic, like, that happens everywhere all the time, and then other things, like, the song that they play while they're in the car, like, they don't describe the song. It could have then been a specific song the author thought about, but now we could, like, see a different song in our minds, just
Suspension
how
of disbelief. Oh, I cannot be the only one who after he kept talking about that song, that I just was like, okay, let me look this song up.
Yeah. I feel like you always get disappointed with that, though. Like, every time, like, song or movie is described and hyped up the way it is in this book, and then you listen to it and you're like, "Oh, that's it?" Like, you know, I think,
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm not the kind of person to like reference songs in my own writing, but I know some people, if they're really connected to something, they have to. So I'm like, okay. Because there's another one where he's like, "Oh, the song was so perfect, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because you had to been there." I was like, "Oh, okay."
it's a smart way to go about it, but it's also infuriating. Like, if you don't want to put it in the book, fine, like, put it in the acknowledgement, but do tell. Do let us know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like today the author would then just like drop their playlist.
Yeah. Yeah. That maybe that's what states the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. Yeah. Timeless aspects of things, relationships. Yep. For sure. Yeah. I think, yeah, this had definitely moments. It was like just, yeah, again, mostly him just being naive, because they didn't really touch on technology that much. And that's usually what dates things really bad, or big pop culture things. and it didn't really get into that. Even like if we would compare this to like Love, Simon, that has more like keystones to Love, Simon. Come on, we're not the movie, we're the book club, guys. Simon versus the Sapiens Agenda.
No, but my
That
book
dates its
says Love, Simon too, because it's the
okay.
movie. You can say it.
Fair enough. That one in a way dated itself more because talked a lot about like the message boards and specific technology.
Right.
So where this one
Yeah.
is just like, hey, we meet up here, we do this, and there's these parties here, and it's like it's never like, oh, this person texted or hit on this whatever. And maybe they said call, but calling is still something people do.
Right. And it's also, I think, a little bit about like who you are as a person, who your friend group is. Like there's people who like put their phones away when they're with their friends entirely. So it's not unbelievable that they wouldn't have devices all the time.
And there's also nowhere in the plot really where it's like, oh, dummy, why didn't you just pull out your phone and call? Like it wasn't that kind of book. So
Right.
Yeah. By 91 it would be a landline too. It wouldn't even be like a landline house phone. See, that would have dated it if they called and be like, oh, can I talk to like that would
Yeah.
But they didn't really have scenes like that, or at least I don't remember. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
But also I don't feel like that wouldn't be necessary, as he is recounting his things that happened to him, his experiences. Why would he need to bring out that it's a landline? He knows, and whoever is reading or not reading those letters doesn't really need that detail.
That's true. That is really true. Oh, they did bring up landlines.
Landlines was a thing in the 2010s, though.
That's true. What was I going to say? Oh, about the writing style. Like I said, my biggest thing was him being so naive. But, as we do have a spoilers banner, this is kind of justified the same way like last month in Shattered Me. I was like, oh, the character was doing all this crazy stuff. And they're like, oh, God, Violet, in the audiobook, you didn't get, there was this whole off the rail text explaining this. I'm like, oh, gosh. So there was, this stylistic choice of him coming off very naive. But it's justified in the bigger picture and themes of the book.
Do you believe that he, as he's writing, we don't know if that's true. Do you think he is being truthful and honest about all of it and showing all of it, or that he's like not
to the best of his abilities? I believe he is. Yes,
I got that too. Because what would be the point in hiding anything? No,
he seemed like that's one thing you could say about Charlie. He is a wallflower. He wasn't chasing popularity ever. He wasn't. It's actually quite sad. I felt like at the end of the book when his friends are graduating, like, oh crap, I I made this great friends and now I'm alone again.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so heartbreaking. I mean, it's not the same, right? But in kindergarten, all my friends were a year older than me, so they would all go to school and I'd be like stuck in kindergarten. I'd be like, oh, yeah. So that sucks, but also you get over it. Like, it's fine. You won't be 50.
A kind of reverse of this happened to me my senior year. I became really good friends with a transfer student who was a sophomore, and he was friends with my whole friend group. So then we all graduated and he was alone. He was alone. He lost all of his friends. And it's also like when you're an underclassman, like being friends with just upperclassmen is it's kind of cool. Even if they aren't the coolest kids, it's still like
they're still a year above. Like they're the cool kids.
Yeah.
Just for being older. Yeah. I get that.
Wait. He avoided going home the one time to avoid her call. Oh, I didn't even think about that, but you're totally right. But again, also like, I was a kid in the 90s. I remember that. So I didn't even clock that. Related to that. As a high schooler, was in class with the majority of people. Being in the grade above me. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to say about prose and writing style? And you touched on the fact that. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Why did my headset? It did this last time at the book club too. Why does it just disconnect?
I mean, we could talk about who he's writing to, if that counts towards writing style, since he is writing letters.
Yeah,
Which we don't know, right? Like, they never revealed it. I've read online that there's a couple of different theories. Like, he's writing to himself, he's writing to a friend, an imaginary friend, or maybe a therapist type of person who was like, hey, trying to help him after Michael's death and be like, hey, you might want to start writing healing work and stuff like that. And then he does. But I don't think
I
it's
think
ever been
I do think that sounds like a strong theory. Yeah, I was a little bit confused at times. There was like a moment where I was like, "Did I miss it? Did I miss who he's writing to?" That was a little confused. I always blame myself.
I feel that.
um,
Yeah. But I mean, they keep it vague specifically, so I think you can wonder and you can live in that imagination. And maybe the author did that just so the reader would feel pulled in. Because I feel like a lot of times when you're not connecting to the characters, you don't feel pulled in. But having a letter written and being like, oh, maybe he wrote this to me, that gives a different type of approach to the relationship between the character and the reader.
I actually want to put the plot banner up here because I feel like how you just brought up how the story kind of starts about him processing the death of his friend is really like like a catalyst getting into him as a character and also why he's alone and why he's a wallflower. And I don't know, I thought it was a smart move. It really set the vibe where there's this already something really dark that happened. And me being like, oh, I remember that this book had some like dark, edgy stuff, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, it really kind of got into the right tone, like tonally what you could expect for the book.
Right.
So yeah, we're having high school shenanigans, but also it's not going to shy away from things.
And I feel like Charlie stays the innocent one in this. Sometimes when you have like dark themes, it could be because the main character might have done something. They might have done drugs or something bad that led them there, but he didn't do anything, right? This happened to him. He's kind of innocent. He's a victim in the situation, kind of, because death doesn't stop for anyone.
No, you're really right, and he sort of has observed several dark things in his life, things he witnesses in other people's lives. Yeah, he witnesses some sexual assault,
Right.
And some straight up assault.
Yeah.
He witnesses a couple different things, and that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, but he's never to blame for any of the bad things.
No, he's not really in it. He was just witnessing it. Yeah, and that's traumatic in itself, or it can be.
Right, but I don't feel like he like truly deals with it. He just accepts that those things happen and tries to move on.
Yeah, he clearly at the end, we learn what had happened to him. He's repressed something. Yes. He's working through so different things. I don't know. I don't have this experience, so I don't know people who have had to build this sort of outer shell like he has. So yeah, but that actually took me off guard. I was like, crap, was that in the movie? I don't like, for me that was like, what?
I don't remember. I feel like the movie was more lighthearted than the book was.
Yeah, because I did not remember that, and I did not see that coming. I was like, oh, okay. It made a little bit sense then to why he was so naive and etc. And how he discussed certain topics. But yeah, I had no memory of that being the case. Hold on, did I miss anything in the comments? He was writing to me, the reader, yep. Most of the time, and that was fine. Yeah, I think I like that too. That also feels kind of edgy, just who knows? It's open for interpretation. Come on, 1999. Yeah.
I just hate letter books. I'm sorry. It's
I hear you. I do hear you. But it does work for YA. unfortunately.
I just found a train ticket from 2014 in this book. So that's probably last time I was rereading it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, you're welcome for that, I guess. Oh my god, my copy is also broken. Like if you open the page where the poem is, like it's ripped apart here because I have this open so much on that page.
Yeah, you did mention that you memorized
Yeah,
the poem.
I mean, I
Um,
feel like a lot of people connected to the poem. But I also loved the portrayal of like the friend group getting together and getting gifts, but then multiple people making something specifically for the other one. You know, Charlie makes this playlist, and then Patrick is Patrick giving him the poem. It's like, okay, I think you would like this. It's not like a
or
generic. Oh, hey,
he's giving Patrick the poem.
oh, that's what I meant. Sorry. It's not a generic like, oh, I got you like a candle with a scent I know you like. It feels very personal and like connected what they're giving each other.
Yeah, I liked that too, especially since Charlie was like felt like the oddball in the friend group. And he's like, "Oh crap, like the other people and I got them presents." And he's like, "But I don't care." But the only thing about the presents that I didn't really like is cuz then we had that big Christmas present exchange and scene and
Yeah.
everything. And then like only felt like not that long later, it's like graduation and he's doing again graduation presents for them. I was like, "Okay, you, you had to cut something there. It was too many presents."
Right, but I feel like that shows his like love language. Like he loves giving gifts.
That's
And
true
maybe
because he also had that tick with his aunt with the double presents. Okay.
yes, and maybe that's him trying to get them to remember him. You know, if they have more things of him, they're more likely to see it in every day life
Okay.
and think of him and be like, hey.
Touche. There's definitely a literary reason why.
I mean, that's what I would think. Because he is, I mean, I wouldn't call him desperate for friends, but he's lonely and he's really happy to be there and to be accepted and to be part of it. And so he wants to A, keep that by making them happy by giving them presents, and B, maybe make them think of him outside when he's not there.
How do you feel about how he did sort of stumble in and become integrated in this friend group with Patrick and Sam?
I mean, he met Patrick in a class, right?
Shop class? Yeah, shop class.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what is that? But it doesn't really matter what type of class it is. And- right.
It's like
And I was,
woodworking.
oh, okay. Thank you. We didn't really have something like that, I think. I think it sounds weird to me because we never had classes that overlapped years. So we would never have class with someone a year above or below. So from my
Uh,
perspective, it was like, why would they do that? Like you could only get that in extracurricular, which I don't think this is what that is, if it's a legit class. But other than that, I feel like knowing how American school system sometimes works, it makes sense. Because
yep.
how else would he meet them? Like he wouldn't go up to people he doesn't recognize. They wouldn't go up to him because they have a friend group. There needs to be something that brings them together.
Yeah. That's true. How the American school system works. You have like elective extra classes and they can be open from different age ranges. So yeah, I definitely had that when I was 14. I also had seniors in some of my classes. Like my cooking class, for example, that's a completely elective class. It's not for any whatever, but I wanted to take it, and yeah, then I was with some seniors in that class.
I think it's fun because it gives, like in general, it gives you the opportunity to meet people you wouldn't otherwise meet, which we never had that. It was just our year, always.
Yeah, that's school systems. It's cool.
Yeah, but why did you bring it up? Did you have any issues with it, or did you think it was a good?
No, I liked that it felt kind of organic. Like sometimes, like I feel like characters get shoved together, and it like, but it did feel like okay, I could imagine this happening at school. I can imagine like the seniors just going along with it, like this kid,
Yeah,
and kind of adopting him.
they do seem rather like open.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I thought it
know.
was funny. Like, sorry.
No, I liked it. And like I said, there's something about them being in their last year and sort of like taking this kind of loner kid under their wing. It just, there was a wholesomeness there, especially how Sam talked to Charlie a lot of the time. You could tell that she was really like oh, sweet summer child. Like,
Yeah. I feel like though, even if they had been in the same year, due to all the more experience that she's had in life, she still would have been that way, even if they were the same year, the same age, all of it. I feel like that's just the
yeah,
vibe she gets.
yeah, yeah. So I liked that. I think I liked that. I don't even want to say like power dynamic because it's never they, they don't really hold power over him. But this, yeah, class differential.
Yeah,
I don't know how to speak today.
it's fine. There's also the other character. The name's Mary something, Mary Beth, Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth, yeah, I was getting there too.
Right.
Oh, Mary Elizabeth.
I had so many issues with this character. I mean, I feel like she's, again, a very believable character. Like, somebody like this could just be in everybody's school. We all probably know somebody like that. And also people who, like, just don't get it. Like, if you're trying desperately to be with someone and they just don't, like, no, that's not the word. Like, they don't give that back. Yeah, that. Like, eventually you get the hang, but I feel like it's very realistic that in high school specifically, you don't. And she wants him, and so she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And she just accepts that he's half-assing their relationship. And it hurts because I feel like it's realistic, but it still doesn't make me like her,
No, it didn't make me like her either, but I think I was surprised that she even wanted something with him or was upset when it wasn't more than it was. I thought she was very much like, I just want the appearance of a boyfriend. So that was a little bit confusing to me. Also, her getting actually upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any like actual clues to this, or maybe it was just my interpretation, but I also felt like maybe she wanted him because he wanted Sam. And she'd always had like this weird issue with Sam, like maybe liking the same boys and Sam always getting them because Sam's prettier or whatever. And then her being like, okay, he wants her, but maybe I can make him want me instead.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought, oh, maybe it's like, okay, there's a boy. He's there. He's new. He doesn't know me. Here's my chance.
Right. Yeah.
So she said she was very much, she wanted to be like an influencer, an influence, and the leader of the relationship. So I think going over somebody who, in her eyes, seems quite vulnerable.
Yeah, and bendable. Like she could make
bendable. Yeah, build a boyfriend.
Kind of, because he's so sweet, but also shy, but also just happy to be there. Like he'd do anything, right?
Yeah. It did feel, the dynamic did feel believable high school. Like you said, everybody kind of knows somebody like that. You kind of know these kind of archetypes. They're not these unbelievable larger than life characters there.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't remember specific people from the friend group, if there were more. Obviously, like the partners of Patrick and Sam. But other than that, I mean, there must have been other people, but I just don't remember anyone.
Yeah, he went through it in the Christmas. He's like, oh, and that person and this person. I was like, okay.
There's also Bill, right? Bill's his only friend that's left.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him, too. Yeah, but again, I felt like, especially how like YA books work, like they always say, like, oh, don't get too many characters. I thought this was a good amount of characters, and just having some casually named characters here and there flushes out the world without feeling like overwhelmed with characters.
Right. I feel like we didn't get enough of his siblings. That it was like very sporadic, and I feel like in a like real sibling relationship, you'd have them more, maybe.
Yeah, but I had the issue with that too, because like I said, growing up with siblings who were in high school the same time as me, I couldn't understand them not being more, because his sister was a senior, so the same age as his friends, and his brother was just off to college. And I was like, okay, that's like the same or very similar gap to what I have with my two brothers. And like, I learned everything and all this social dynamics and stuff from them. So it's like, I can't imagine. I don't know. And it seemed like they had interaction in each other's lives. So some of the things didn't add up there for me.
Also, like the friends would have at least known his sister probably, I'm assuming they would also have known his brother, especially like
Yeah,
if Sam was dating older dudes, which she was. She
yeah,
probably know him,
yeah.
knew him.
But
If she was
also,
dating
his
people.
brother was like a big athlete, and Patrick was super
Right.
into watching football.
I just found it weird
So
that that conversation never happened.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's weird too. I now that you say it, but I think I didn't realize till the end that his sister was a senior. When I was like, "Oh, she's graduating. My sister's graduation. Oh, too bad I couldn't hang out with my friends for their graduation because my sister's graduating." And I'm like, "Hey, now that you say it,
Yeah,
like,
I feel like the siblings just, I don't know. Not that they're not well portrayed siblings. Maybe they don't get along, but it's just it's not enough. And I feel like a lot of YA, they like kind of cut out the parents. Like they don't exist. They exist, but they're not part of the story. But the siblings were part of the story deliberately when it fit the narrative, and then just not when it didn't.
the thing is for me, I think the book could have been longer, but because it was like epistolary, it felt weird. Like if it was just like a regular book that had some letters in it, the book could have been longer for me.
How long is the timeline? Because I feel like it's a couple of months, right? From
Well, it
like
starts at like football season, which is the beginning of the school year.
August. Okay, it starts in August and then it goes until graduation.
Yeah.
So like summer again. So it's a full year. It doesn't feel like a full
It's like
year. So
it's like a full school year. So
yeah.
um I don't know. I actually really liked the inclusion of like going to his family holiday. Um and then like his family for graduation. Obviously I didn't know like that there was going to be this sort of twist of like family trauma at the end,
Right.
which kind of tied that in cohesively of like, uh, but I remember like was it Christmas or Thanksgiving or one holiday there he's going, it must have been Christmas, right? He's going over like, oh, this is how this was and this is how that was and my grandpa was doing this, and I was like, this just feels so nostalgic, and I don't even, it's not even my family, and this doesn't feel like it has anything to do with the book. I don't know why we're lingering over here, but I'm having a great time. This is funny. So
Yeah. It's
I'm sure
nice
if
break.
yeah, I don't know. I think it just maybe it just felt like, I don't know, for me it felt like, yeah, home at my family, like I only had so many short years of that, like even my parents were divorced, and it was like, this is like cool, like a big family gathering. So and also because it's the 90s, I don't know, there was something so nostalgic. I'm sure if I would have read this like when I was in high school, I would not have cared about those scenes at all, but as an adult I was like, this is cute.
Since we're talking about characters, do you want to talk about his aunt?
Sure, we can. Like I mentioned already, it really, I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't.
You kind of know, okay, there's more to the aunt story than what we're hearing because they always kind of talk about her in a little bit of a way. So I kept thinking like, oh, did she commit suicide? Did did this or that happen to her? So when they said like she died, what, in a car crash? Is that what they said?
I think it was an accident, definitely.
Yeah, she died in an accident going to get his birthday present. I was like, oh, okay, that's not the twist I was expecting there. That felt like a letdown. But I was like, oh, okay, it was just something, that was heavy on him. And then, okay, of course, then later it gets revealed he had been sort of repressing this trauma that happened to him. And then since we had seen some of the generational stuff with both sides of his family, we kind of got to understand, oh, okay. Okay, now everything's coming together. We weren't just meandering for no reason. And
Yeah.
so
I feel like obviously I've never made that experience, and I don't think you have, so we can't really talk about how that's portrayed. But from an outside looking in perspective and seeing other people in my life have trauma and deal with that, it does feel realistic that he in the beginning be like talking about her positively and like kind of like guilty, like, she died when she got my present, blah blah blah. But then later it turns out she was the bad guy, and then him breaking down. I feel like that's a somewhat realistic portray of the repressing and it coming up.
especially how he seemed so fond of her. in
Yeah.
his thoughts and memories, and everybody else around had kind of a poo-poo attitude towards her. And at first I'm just thinking, oh, he was close to her, or maybe there was the dad had something against the sister-in-law or whatever it was, or something that we don't
I
know.
thought
It's
she
like,
was
oh, it
playing
was
cheap.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Or like, oh, she was a drunk or something crazy. I was gonna just think it was something like that, or a drug thing, or okay. Now we learn they had reasons to be not thinking so fondly of her.
But then, if that is the case, and they knew all along, I feel like they didn't behave right to get Charlie the help that he needed.
You know what? It does make me want to reread it now, like knowing everything. That's why normally I'm happy when I've seen the film first, but I had no memory of the film. I don't even know if I watched the whole film. I don't even know if that was in the film. So
I also really don't remember. I feel like the film mostly focused on like the friend group dynamics and not his personal trauma. But it
like I
also
said,
didn't.
I just remember teens going to a party, a little bit of Rocky Horror Picture Show. We're infinite out the car.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a big plot point in the book, obviously, but it's not portrayed because there's no active happenings with the aunt, right? It's just him remembering. And how would you picture that in a movie unless he did flashbacks, which I feel like they purposely didn't do.
Oh, Sam is there.
Hello.
Hello, I was like trying to catch up because I had to pause real quick to go see the AC people out and stuff. And so I was at the part of the stream where you guys started talking about Sam a lot, and then I hear Violet in real time go, Sam's here, and I'm like, I am.
Yeah, I also had to like do a double take when I first brought up the character. I was like, was the character called Sam? Pretty sure called Sam. Now there's two Sams. This is confusing.
Indeed. Yeah, so happy to be here late. And yes, for some context, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pick. Like, I'll do another month and I'll pick this one that Anne really wants to do. And then
Thank you.
Okay, that's how it happened. I couldn't remember the story.
We were talking about the aunt and how he portrayed her and the family portrayed her, that kind of like disconnection between how everybody saw her.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings about like the aunt doing the cycle of trauma, because like, while yes, that does happen, more often it happens that like people who are abused or traumatized go on to be like more sensitive to things like that, and so they don't actually abuse others. So I was like a little about the cycle of abuse repeats itself in this instance. The book was like written before a lot of that was like known and stuff, though. So
yeah.
I felt it was actually written in a way that was very age appropriate given the context and everything. And I think the lead up to it was very well done.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't see that coming, and then when it was revealed, it was like a gut punch, but also like, oh, okay, that explains some things.
I will say I found it a little wild that like she was doing that to him, and one of his things is, but I never got to hug her. Oh my God. That's trauma, man.
Yeah.
It's icky, but since we don't get the revelation until the very end of the book, it doesn't feel icky. Like, once you look back, it does, but in the moment you're reading, you're like, oh, he had a good relationship with his aunt, he misses her, blah, 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 and then you're like, crap.
Yeah, but it puts those earlier scenes in really dark light, when he's at the party witnessing that stuff. That was already super dark, or I found that really disturbing.
It recontextualizes how he must have actually felt when his dad was like, your aunt's had it bad, like, and his whole thing of, others have it worse than me.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, it made me want to go back and reread and think about some of the critiques I had, because like I said, he's so naive and this and that, and the writing style, or why did he act like that? And I'm like, okay, this, if I'm looking at it now, knowing what I know,
Trauma responses.
yeah.
Do we know
I
if his
also
parents
Like
knew
that
the extent?
you guys got to talk about the fun stuff, and I come here and I'm like, trauma.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just thought it was funny.
Do we know if
But
his
no,
parents?
I really like how they handled it, and I felt it was like really well portrayed. And I like that they took male and female SA like child abuse equally. Like they were equally handled. One was not lesser than the other one. But like we could also see how in his mind, like he felt his was lesser because of the thing.
Ooh, yeah. Ugh.
We were unwarned.
Yeah, no, really, like I said, it that reveal hit me, like, because in my mind, he had always talked about his aunt as like somebody who he really cared about, or he felt cared for by.
Honestly,
So
because of the aunt, I was prepped for the teacher to turn out to be a creep.
yeah, I know, I
ready.
feel like they had that as a red herring. Come on.
I was so happy when it was a red herring. I'm like, oh, this is so innocent. And then like for it to have been the aunt, because like the psychologist like very much is a heavy foreshadowing there that something happened, because he's like, I don't understand why they're asking all these weird questions about my early childhood. And I'm like, I can guess, but I was very much glad that the teacher was just a kind-hearted teacher that took a genuine interest in there.
Yeah,
in
that was nice to see as well, I have to say.
a nice subversion.
Oof. I felt like it got heavy there for a second.
Do you want to move on to something else? Is there anything else specifically you want to talk about?
No, sorry. I have my banners from the last time. I do have the banner. Would this survive in today's market? It's not a series, so disregard the last.
Oh, okay. I was glad to be like, ooh, there's more, because I really enjoyed this one. In today's market, are we asking if it would survive in the market or if publishers would pick it up?
Both.
Okay. I think it would. I think it's written well enough. I've read enough middle grade that's been produced recently. I think publishers would pick it up, and that it would be.
At first, when I was reading it, I thought, oh no, this wouldn't go today, just because of that juvenile writing style at the beginning where he seems so naive. But because everything tied together in like such like, literary dominoes.
Does this have a Newbery Award?
No.
Okay, because it feels very Newbery.
I think it had something. Let me check. Did this get any acclaim? Oh, censorship. Oh,
the U.S. is dealing with some of that right now.
No, it doesn't look like it had any awards. I'm not seeing anything.
Oh wait, this would be affected by the censorship ban. They're trying to ban all queer media from kids' schools right now.
Oh, because Patrick is.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the queer themes of this book, which
I would just, because I wasn't here to discuss most of the characters, I would just like to say I love how absolutely messy and drama-filled, but also forgiving these characters' love lives were. I was like, this is so much cleaner than most teenage romances I know, but also makes a lot of sense for other teenage, like thinking back my actual like friends and stuff when they were dating, and like yeah. Also, the whole I'm going to, like, my very good friend is giving me dating advice, I'm going to follow it to a T, and then it just be the exact opposite of what
yeah. I loved how, though, when Charlie found out about this, that it was a very non-issue for him. It was just kind of like, oh, that's a thing. Okay. And they're like, don't, Charlie, you know, this is a secret. You can't tell anybody. And it just, okay, also proves kind of who Charlie is. It just, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't even like, I think that kind of goes, you know, into this bigger theme of witnessing like these bad sexual experiences and then seeing a sexual experience that is societally labeled bad, but is actually a safe experience.
Mhm.
And, you know, this intuitive of knowing that this is actually not something bad, you know, to where we had seen, you know, something that high school party that he witnessed when something bad was happening, even though that was a hetero situation. So that's at least how I take it.
How do we feel about that newsman hitting on our little high schooler,
Oh, yeah, it's only funny when he's trying to tell his parents, like, oh, yeah, I talked to him. And then he has to be like, oh, but then.
I was like, go away, go away, go away. Leave him alone.
That's one of the things that when Charlie's older, he's going to be like, oh, crap. Because I know there's things that
like,
I did when I was in like middle school that later as an adult, I'm like, holy shit, I was in a situation there and I didn't even know it. Like,
right, but like, you know, he has other trauma to deal with first. Like that can be a later issue.
He didn't realize that he was. Yeah, but being like kind of a local celebrity, being just.
I enjoy the brother's character development.
Oh yeah,
he went from like the kind of like immature teenage brother who's just so done with his siblings and stuff, and then he like goes away to college, and you can tell that he missed them, and that him missing them in part helped change him a little bit, and he's like, no, I actually love you too. Tell me all about your interest. I give a fuck now.
Yeah, like even though he was absent during the plot of the story,
most of it,
yeah.
He came back every now and then.
Yeah, or just being mentioned. It was nice to see the sort of from afar that he wasn't stagnant.
Yeah. I really appreciated the his and his sister's relationship too, how it to me it showed a really realistic, oh, we're really close, and then something happens and we drift apart for a while, but then we come back together and stuff, because like that's how a lot of sibling relationships are. They're like, it's not a straight path, it's not parallel, it's not like, perfectly. And that he was there for her when she really needed someone to be there for her, and that even though he doesn't agree with her choices, he sort of in a roundabout way prioritizes being able to be there with her over trying to fix things, because like it'll come back to me. Oh, because like, with the boyfriend, she was dating him in the open, then like she was forced to break up with him, and so she just started dating him in secret and stuff, and she didn't have anybody to go to. And then when she had him to go to, like he was basically like, I don't want to lose this again. So and through that, like, I think I'm just repeating myself in a circle, but yeah, just through that, he was able to be there for her. And like, he couldn't protect her. That's what I was trying to get. Like, even though he couldn't protect her from her choices, like, the parents wanted him to, would just be like, tell us so we can handle it. Sometimes there are really things that like only your siblings can really help you through it in a way that works, right?
I love that he told on her, but like he was like, she said don't tell mom and dad, so I mean I didn't do that.
He's like, I didn't. And like the teachers have to report it. Like they have no choice. So
It just felt like, I don't know. I really like that. That felt relatable to me.
It's like, you didn't say, not the teacher.
Yeah,
Just
you just said, don't tell mom and dad I didn't do it. Yeah. But she didn't see it like that. But still.
It could also impart. Now, this could just be me, but because my husband and I have been watching The Good Doctor, and the way that like they describe some of his quirks and the way that they describe some of the things that he does and stuff reminds me of somebody who is on the spectrum, at least a little
That's
bit.
what I got too. I was wondering that too.
Yeah, and like
I had also moments.
yeah, I grew up around a lot of people on the spectrum. Like my grandfather and my uncle are both diagnosed. Well, they were diagnosed with Asperger's, which is no longer, but they refuse to call it anything else. So I would feel rude calling it anything else. But yeah, so that's what they were diagnosed with, and he just, like I said, a lot of the way they describe him of stuff. It reminds me of how people would describe my friends or something on the spectrum, and like his asking a bunch of questions because he wants to know and he understands could like be a kid thing, but it could also be a spectrum thing. So
yeah, I mean, to be honest, this could also explain a little bit why maybe, like Ann and I said earlier, like it felt like his siblings didn't show him the ropes on some of this stuff, that they just kind of him. Where you would think it's not that big of an age difference, but if they had some way where they sort of were thinking that he's, yeah,
like it's not worth it, or there's no point.
Yeah, they had their own reason. Yeah, that it could be a theory there. The only other thing I really wanted to discuss was our evergreen banner of symbols and motifs. I mean, we hit on a lot of the themes already.
We generally, I don't think we can. I don't think, as readers who read the way that we do, I don't think we can discuss the characters and stuff without touching on this or going through these.
Yeah, but this book, in particular, I feel like had very because it's contemporary, so it has very clear through lines with the theme.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not hiding it.
No, it wasn't hiding it. It just, like I said before, I think that's before you came backstage, Sam, about like, going to the family. It felt like the side quest of seeing his family dynamic of his family. And it's like, no, just kidding. This is like important to the theme of this generational abuse cycle.
Yeah, they gave us they gave us enough family visits to see that, because then he was like, yeah, I would describe Christmas, but you've seen it all already.
Yeah, and so yeah, it seemed at the time like I liked how that was done, but again, contemporary.
I adored it. I also related to it.
So yeah,
and I love it's very accurate to family dynamics that the one who can pull the grandpa in is the oldest boy of like the third generation. You know what I mean? Like, because everyone else are like, dad, you shouldn't, or dad this or that, but like at the end of the day, they're just kind of used to putting up with him and putting up with like how he's embarrassing them and stuff. But the brother was like, no, old man, we're going toe to toe. And it's like, because the brother doesn't necessarily, like, he doesn't have that connection like between child and parent that often prevents corrections like that. But like grandkids and grandparents have a different sort of dynamic. So his grandson has no shame just going toe to toe with his grandpa, being like, no, we'll leave. He's like, oh, well, you'll miss the graduation too. And he's like, I'll watch it recorded and you won't be able to. And grandpa's like, I guess I can stop being a racist for an hour.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I liked the book. It was good. What about some symbols or motifs? I feel like we kind of hit on the motif of like I don't know, music and
generational.
playlists and this sort of, he feels like he has a soundtrack. I don't know if you can call a soundtrack a motif, but when it's in a book, it feels
I
like
do.
it is.
It's in order to go through the effort of putting musical references in a book to the extent that they feel fitting for what you're going for in the book and stuff and not disruptive, that's a motif. Like that has to be. Like,
Yeah, because at the beginning he said, "Oh, what did this say?" He said, "I think you would like this song," or "Oh," he said, "What's your favorite band?" He said, "It's the Smiths because I heard this one song asleep and I like it." And they liked that he was so honest and said not pretended to be a big fan of the band when he only knew one song. But then later you see him grow into music as something he cares about as the story progresses, and that he, you know, goes to the record store and he gets this and that from what's her name, and takes these different influences. And by the end, he's not really a poser anymore, or he never was a poser, but you know what I mean. I don't know.
yeah.
He broadened his horizons. So, but Asleep was still on the mixtape at the end. So when it hits, it still hits at the end. So, what about did you guys feel about his suit as sort of a symbol? Because it actually was what's on the cover of some of the versions of the book.
Is it?
Yeah, that's actually why I chose this guy in a suit emoji, because also we're just running out of emoji options.
Interesting. On my copy, there's like a dress pant on the back.
Yes, yeah, like a dress pant, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like he could have worn anything as long as he had been told that that's the correct thing to wear. I feel like he would just accept if people told him, "Hey, wear this. This is good. This, you know."
I mean, I feel like you could read into it on a couple different levels. Like you could read into it as like a costume. You could read into it as like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a few different levels you could look into it on the suit. Also, how they described him getting it piece by piece.
I felt when he first put on the suit, it like really illustrated the stark contrast of the fact that he does not fit in amongst his peers. Like, because he's both, while he both has a naivete, whether that comes from trauma or a spectrum or anything else, he is also very like highly intelligent, and he's worldly in his own way. Like he has a maturity about him that lets him naturally fit in with older people who have more patience more patience, empathy, and understanding, right? And so, and the suit, I felt sort of like illustrated that really well, because like all of his peers made fun of him and stuff for it, and they're like, oh, look at you, you're trying to be fancy and stuff, and that he felt really bad about wearing it. But then he went amongst his friends, and you know, Patrick and Sam, and they were all like, oh, look at you looking so good and like, you know, professional and stuff, and because they were like, it's also like a symbol of their support for him because they really want to help him be a writer.
Yeah. It kind of like people don't see who you are, but we see who you are. We see your potential. I don't know. I definitely, I can understand why the suit made the image as some of the covers and why it made the emoji for the channel, because I made it that. I thought about doing a letter or something. I was like, yeah, but the letter thing is kind of unresolved. I don't know about what that. Other than that, we're kind of running out of. But yeah. Any other symbols or motifs that you guys thought popped up, or niche themes?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Oh, the queer. Did we discuss that?
We started touching on it. There's obviously could be a larger conversation there. We discussed, that I thought that how he handled it was like a non-issue, even though of the time this would have been even a bigger issue, but because he saw that it was something consensual and safe.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he labeled this as okay immediately, which I liked that. But I think it was meant to be scandalous. I'm sure some readers read this and were like, ooh. But obviously we were reading it from a different time. But also that is kind of quite a cliche that the popular kind of jock guy is closeted.
Not only is he closeted, but he has a father who comes down in a theoretically, as it happened off page, I think, abusive way. So that's why the jocks never feel comfortable coming out.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, this did feel a little dated, or a little cliche, maybe at this point, because we've seen similar portrayals, in different, across different medias.
That would just follow the trope of it's called Seinfeld Isn't Funny, and the idea is that when Seinfeld first came out, it was considered like really hilarious, and a lot of people found it funny. But it's had such cultural impact, and it's been like referenced and like been redone and stuff, that like people who go back and watch it now, they're like, oh, why is this funny? Because they're so used to like the jokes and the deadpan humor from other media and stuff. It's like, oh, well, this thing's just filled with a bunch of cliches and overdone things, when in reality it's one of the like primary sources for it. So it's just one of those fascinating things where it's like when you go back and interact with old media and you're like, is it overdone or did it come first?
Speaking of which, I don't have a banner for this, but I think it still kind of falls on the topic, because this year we did for the first time like an award show for our last year books. And this is definitely sort of fitting into this sort of literary darling category for me, where I feel like you could discuss this in a school curriculum.
Oh, yes.
I think my school did.
Yeah, that was my question. I'm like, I wonder if people are using this one, because I wasn't aware that it took place in the 90s. I'd always thought it was a newer book. So I'm like, oh, this is definitely...
We had the option between this and Looking for Alaska. And we did Looking for Alaska, but other classes did. Texas being a wallflower.
Okay. Yeah, I think it could have a lot of conversations as a school book, just because, like we said, there's themes and symbols that really carry throughout.
Also, the drugs, I feel like, is a thing that people do in school, like talk about a lot.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of casual potheads in this one.
Right, and don't they do too? Once?
Oh yeah, what was that? I don't remember, but I know that they drank alcohol. It was always brandy. Why was that? Or cognac? Was it cognac or brandy? What was it? But it was the same drink twice at two parents' houses.
It was brandy, because I only remember that because I thought it was funny when he was like, brandy's good, but it was better at the other house.
Yeah, I think it's the only alcohol that those teens have access to. Okay.
I'm like, someone's paying for the good stuff, and someone else is like, anything will do.
Yeah.
I would assume because in the 90s, whiskey was just a really big thing. Whiskey, cognac, brandy, just bourbon, any brand of any type of whiskey. It was also like a status symbol for some reason in media. So
I thought it was just a cute little touch. Also, you could definitely see that from a teen. Even if there had been other alcohols, all he remembered was brandy.
Because And then
We didn't really touch on, though, that after Patrick and Brad were kind of on the offs and Patrick was in this like depressive state, they're kind of worried about him, that him and Charlie kind of had a few moments there.
Later, when Sam talked to Charlie about that, I wasn't too pleased with Sam a little bit, because it's like, on the one hand, yes, he was an enabler, but on the other hand, you didn't do anything to stop that, and he doesn't know that that's not, like, to him, he's like, I'm just being a good friend. I'm being here for my friend.
Especially when we learn about him with his aunt, like,
and that Sam gave him his first kiss as a friend, because
exactly, where are boundaries?
So I'm like, girl, you could have handled that better.
Yeah, because it would have been one thing if Patrick would have really pushed something with him, but it was kind of like,
mixture was to get in his pants too.
So yeah, I don't know. Do we think that this was like a necessary plot point? Do you think that this brought something out, or could we have left this on the floor?
I think it continued to support his mental journey of, like, people who get consent are good people, because Patrick always asked if it was okay. He never well, after the first time, but he like apologized for the first time, and then Charlie was like, no, it's okay. And so, like, and from that point, and I think, like, I liked that it was included, if only because so often we see, especially in middle grade or YA, when someone starts going down the dark path of abusing alcohol and drugs, they don't come back from it, and this showed him coming back from it, and it showed
that's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, oh gosh, where is this going?
Yeah, exactly.
I do think the scene, like the fact that they kiss, there's arguments to be made in the sort of bigger picture of Charlie just understanding sexual encounters and, like we said, consent and safety and these different things. But I also think there's this gray area where it could be like a little bit harmful, kind of having this idea of like your queer friend is always going to be a little into you or something like that. There's this gray area for me where I was like, I don't know if that was necessary.
Yeah, that I could have done without. I'm like, why can't we just have platonic relationships? Why do we gotta be a little bit attracted to all of our friends, even if our sexuality would
it could like, I don't know.
Everyone's a little bit gay sometimes.
I think I would have tweaked the scene a little bit if I had been the writer, if I to just the slight tweaks could have made it a little bit better, in my opinion, but whatever.
It's okay. No book is perfect.
Really.
I wanted to be sassy and then pull up an example, but I'm like, I can't remember anything else I've ever read. So, Ice Planet Barbarians, however. No, I'm kidding.
It is, I mean, the pinnacle of literature.
I love that series.
Especially if you listen to it on double the speed as an audiobook while you're sitting next to a sauna and having face masks on.
I literally just got the newest ebook of the spinoff of Ice Planet Barbarians because I didn't even know I knew what came out. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be up to date.
I am not yet. I finished the main series and I have to catch up on all the spinoffs though. So if you want to recommend me which spinoff to start with, I will take it into consideration.
Oh, you have to start with Ice Home, no? Or are you considering that the main series?
No, Ice Home is a spinoff because the main series, at least
they overlap a little bit plot wise.
Yeah. Well, what I in the wiki considered the main series is all of the main people who like came down, and then like one or two from the next generation. But yeah,
I know. Sometimes I wonder how I ended up with a YA middle grade book club whenever I read everything.
Because you had an idea and the premise was great, and I've been loving it and enjoying it. So, like this book, I've heard about it for years. Didn't even know there was a movie, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I never would have picked up the book if it wasn't for book club. I would have been like, "Oh yeah, that I saw a clip of that movie years ago."
Between this book club and Year of Favorites, I have discovered so many gems, and I am so grateful, especially when I get to pass on those gems, because I'll be like, oh, you're gonna love this one, or you are. Like Jonathan Stroud, middle grade, we read with the Ghost Detectives.
Oh, Lockwood and Co.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I can't remember the name of the series. My oldest loved Lockwood and Co. So, but like I said, I love this book. I adored this book. I would let my children read this book. Not my youngest yet, but my older two, yeah.
I'm trying not to have a closing thoughts banner. I really should. I thought the beginning of this book, I was not into it. I was getting pretty bored, turning up the speed on that audiobook progressively more. Then it just started to hit at some point. I don't know what to say. It started to fall into place. Like I said, literary dominoes for me is how it was.
I will say it is a testament to the writing style and the narrative voice that I enjoyed a book completely in second person that would not let you forget it's in second person. Because I notoriously hate second person when they're all like, oh, you feel this, or you know this, or this how you. I'm like, you don't know me. This one and a series of unfortunate events so far, the only two that I've thoroughly enjoyed. And this one was just, I was like, well, you're assuming really good things about me, and you're a child, so I will forgive you. Write me all your letters, Charlie.
Yeah, the writing the letters. It was a choice. It worked.
The opposite of
Oh, you liked it?
Oh yeah, I'm the opposite of Anne. I really love letter literature. Like that's just basically like it's very big in vampire fiction. For the novel to be like a series of letters and articles and journals, and I really like that. I think that may be an offshoot of my mother's influence, because my mother really loves history and documentaries, and so she and my grandma would watch a bunch of that. So this is just like a fictional form for me of doing like those historical deep dives sometimes.
I think I like when there's epistolary elements, but not when it's the sole writing style.
So like when the primary narrative is a regular novel, but then like they have special chapters or inserts that's like this article.
Yeah. Like Simon versus Homo sapien agenda, like that, where it's like half of it's emails and stuff, but
those are fun.
Because like you wouldn't write letters the way you write letters in a book, right? You wouldn't go into every single detail and recount like days on days on days. If you
I read I don't know if you guys read any horror, but I read that Bigfoot book, Devolution. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's also It's also written epistolary, and I think it's also to her therapist. She's supposed to keep a journal to her therapist, but it's like a horror, and she's like, so it's like hard to keep the suspense of like the Bigfoots are coming in and chasing us. Like, what are you writing that down? Or it really, I was like having a hard time suspending my disbelief on that one too.
It works so well in horror because, like you were saying, like letters are typically not journals, and so a lot of times the way you would write a letter is not the same way you would write a journal. But if you're in a scenario like a lot of the horror people are in, you would 100%, and they like take advantage of that to like to ramp up the suspense and tension, because like you don't know what's going on, and the letter writer can't always include everything, or they'll be like, from your dearest John, April 1940, and then it's like, dear you, August, and you're like, bitch, why have you written me all summer? What has happened? So
if I wasn't just running this book club by like a thread, I would totally love to have like writing challenges that go cohesive with the books. Like, yeah, like write a little epistolary thing on the side.
That
That would
Based
be
sounds.
so
off of
cool.
this. Yes,
That would-
well,
I don't
get
know
on
how-
it, guys. I'm not doing it. I'm barely keeping this afloat.
I will direct your attention to the, I think, 15-minute video on my channel about what's going on in my life and why I would not be able to do that at all. The Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay is hold together this current event by toothpaste and dental floss. I am pretty sure. Maybe some duct tape. Actually, yes, we've got some strong duct tape in our host.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
even
it
have
seems-
it all together, so.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's struggle busting at the moment. So, what can you say? But yeah, one day, I'm sure I'm gonna. That's why I want to keep the book club alive. I'm like, there's plots and plans and schemes that could happen over here. Well,
If nothing else, it's like most book clubs. We convene to decide on a book to read. We read it, and then we speak about the book, and then most of us don't see or speak to each other until the next meeting. It's a club.
yeah, it's true, and I also tell myself the book club wouldn't die if we still read books and didn't have live shows about them. We could also just have discussions in Discord about them or some other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest, there's not a live show, I'm not reading the book. But that's a me problem.
Wow, and wow, wow.
She's
I
like,
would just
"Nope."
like, oh, my book club's never going to die, even if I don't want to do these live shows anymore. And it's like, nope, I'm out.
And like, I can read books and have discussions without you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, this was like the first time I was like, guys, I'm busy. Have the live show without me. You guys were like, nah, we'll do Tuesday. I've just been waiting for the time that I'm busy and I have to like hand over my StreamYard to somebody else. Has yet to happen.
Are you
So,
ready?
Yeah.
That almost sounds like you want that to happen.
I know, right? She's like, maybe I'll just leave them and they can run my book club.
That's my secret plan. No, I always, like I've said this a million times, I've always wanted to be like everybody's book club and not the Violet show. That's like,
Yeah, but you still have to have a club president.
yeah.
Even if Charlie doesn't know what they do.
Yeah. Club being, the station is run by just the rat who lives in the tracks. It's a little bit sad, but it is what it is.
It's enough.
Yeah, so
Do we have a book for next month?
that's a great question because there had been some discourse about this that people were suggesting Red Rising, but I don't know if anybody pulled the trigger on that or not.
One of our votes for Red Rising was specifically so Mars didn't have to participate. So
Yes, I saw that as well. So
I don't know if we would want to count that one as she would not.
yeah. And that's why I wrote, like, oh, do we really want to do Red Rising for April? Because we also have October, November, December, where Red Rising is kind of it's a longer book. It's a popular book. So it's a little bit.
I'll give you my answer in a moment.
For me, it's a several-month library wait. So I would have to do it as an ebook. I read it, but I would have to reread it. And
Where's the spreadsheet with the books and thing? Is that
that's a good
Station?
question. It's in the announcements, but you have to scroll up, I think. I think it's pinned.
Have you
Yeah.
pinned it?
It's just pinned, yeah. Is this pinned? I'll pin it again.
Oh yeah, the master
yep,
list.
it's pinned. Yep. The master list.
I
Is
mean,
there a
I'm
better
gonna
place
be
I can put it?
off commission for the next 2 months because of finals. So I have no opinion.
Oh, I'm okay with doing it next month. One of my library cards has it available now.
Okay, who wanted?
Holy sh! My my Nashville Public Library card has 100 of 259 copies available
Oh wow.
of the audiobook.
What?
Violet, if you need to borrow a library card.
Holy shit! Yeah, what the hell?
Everything else on my library card.
Did I put myself for June for Darker Shade of Magic?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's how I felt.
Why you want to move yourself, Anne?
No. June's fine. I will be done with written finals by the end of May, and I won't have oral finals until July. So June's fine.
Okay.
That's probably why you picked it.
I mean, looking at this now, this does make sense. But also, I'm like, why was I this smart?
Nobody picked anything for winter.
You're smart.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, also,
I
this is
just did look. I didn't want to be greedy and take all the months, but any months that people don't want, I will take.
I'm also happy to do another one in winter.
Yeah, we'll see what
Anne and
what
I
we
will
get
just be
up to.
scavenger birds. That's like mine.
Yeah, we'll take what everybody else doesn't want. It's fine.
And to be fair, Mars is also always reading something.
Yeah.
Right.
Like always.
I don't feel like I've read a YA or middle grade though.
Have you read? Sorry, have you read Red Rising already, Anne?
No.
Oh, because I've read it. It's kind of like Hunger Games for fantasy bros, but it's like sci-fi. So, but like for fantasy
I want
bros,
Hunger Games to say Hunger Games and everything else to be everything else.
it's like fantasy bros are like, this is adult, and girls like me who read it are like, this is just YA for boys. Like, I don't know. So I think it could be an interesting topic. That's why I'm fine to read Red Rising, and it has a trope that I hate in it, and everybody says the series gets really good. So
to Anne's, Hunger Games can be Hunger Games, and everything else can be everything else. On the thing for Red Rising in Libby, it says Ender, Katniss, and now Darrow.
Oh, okay.
I forgot this.
Yeah, so Scott Singler, Pierce Brown's relentlessly entertaining debut channels The Excitement of the Hunger Games by Susan Collins and Ender Games by Orson Scott Card. So Violet's description was pretty apropos, according to this. Like sci-fi Hunger Games for fantasy bros is the vibe I am getting from this marketing description.
Yeah, I a lot of times go into books without knowing anything about them, just knowing like maybe there's some hype. Somebody said this was good, and that's why I read Red Rising. Like, oh, this is good. It's a little controversial, but it's good. And then you get to a certain point, and you're like, what? They're just doing Hunger Games, like, yeah. I hate like that, or like you don't know it's an academy book, or you don't know it's a tournament book, and then you're already bamboozled by the time you're partially into it.
Right. Oh, I'm really hoping we get another Hunger Games book. The theories out there are wild, especially with the movie.
I've been seeing.
I've seen all of them. Like somebody.
Wait, when is the movie coming out? Because
November 22nd or something.
Because we talked about reading, doing a Hunger Games month. We could do that.
In November?
Well, we could do it in October. We could do
as a prep. Yeah, that's
Sunrise, and we could also do Ballad if people cared about doing that. We never did it.
Yeah, we listened to the audiobooks of the Hunger Games, my boyfriend and I, when we play games, and we're almost through with the original trilogy, and then we want to do Ballad and Sunrise before the movie comes out, so he can actually read them.
Okay, hold on. Where's the Discord? Well, I'll put a note somewhere in Discord. Do people want to do a Hunger Games month? Do you want it October or November? And then we'll just have a Hunger Games nostalgia month.
Yes, that I will absolutely love that.
And yeah, so that we could do that for Sunrise on the Reaping.
Hi.
So.
I missed things. My internet just decided we were talking about the summary of the book.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted to say,
yeah, I wanted to say, as you know, I usually go in like completely blind, knowing absolutely nothing. But I just saw the word Katniss, and I had to find out why.
Yeah.
Now, what about?
We want to do a Hunger Games month. That's what we did while you were gone.
Yeah.
Oh, to read the whole series?
No, it's when Sunrise on the Reaping came out, everybody said let's do it for the book club as like some sort of an exception because it's a new book, but it's in an old series. And I said yes, and then we never put it on the schedule. And now the movie is coming out this year, and people again are saying, let's do Sunrise on the Reaping. And I said, let's just make it a whole Hunger Games month.
So yes, I will need to read the whole series. Because I have
You've
not read
the
any of
series?
them. Yeah, I've read
Really?
the Hunger Games.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked because
I've never even seen all the movies.
I'm pretty sure my thumbnail for the book club was gold standard of YA. Like, it holds up as like the best YA. Book one.
When you said, Sam, earlier today, like there's no perfect book, I almost said The Hunger Games is perfect. Like
The
I
first
genuinely-
book. Don't drag the whole series into it, but book one of the Hunger Games, it holds up so well. I've read it probably 5 times now, and
Yeah, my sister really loved them, but by the time the Hunger Games were coming out, I was reading something else, and then I want to say that by the time they like picked up speed, I was moving. So I just never got around to it.
criminal, honestly.
okay, too bad Mars isn't here. I would
And I think
double Sam's.
yes, I'll get off this one.
Well, we can discuss this in the Discord and come back for that, right?
Yeah. But
That's what I was saying. If Mars was here, they could help with this discussion.
yeah, I think the book club did the Hunger Games either before I joined or during one of the months I could not. It was one of those.
It was very beginning. It was like
it was before I joined.
But also,
So-
did we
and-
do all of them?
To be clear,
We
I'm
did.
not complaining about reading the Hunger Games in a month. I'll read all of them in a month. That's fine with me.
I'm gonna. I did admit that I did cry at my reread of Mockingjay last
Just
year
so that you-
because I hate Mockingjay. I hate that book, and I reread it, and I got it for the first time. I was also pregnant. That could have something to do with it. My hormones were at an all-time high, and the book just hit for me.
I've always cried when I read it. So
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, Hunger Games month. We just have to decide if we want to do it the month before the film comes out or the month the film is coming out.
right.
Will.
So did we decide on a book for this month or for next month? April?
No, we need to call in with Lynn, put it in the Discord, but I think Laura Nettles also just commented. So I need to track those guys down and see if they actually read it because I'm not going to read this book for the book club if nobody else is going to read it. So
I will be there with you, Violet, in the trenches, knowing nothing about this book or others. Hey, maybe I will be able to bring a perspective from this without a lot of Hunger Games influence.
Oh, that is very unique.
Because I've only seen the first, maybe the second movie.
oh, you've seen the movies. Okay.
I've seen one movie.
I'm pretty sure one of our Hunger Games book club discussions, and it was talking about like contestants. If they have sex, would it be porn?
In my defense, dystopia has never been my jam. I think famously The Giver is the only dystopian I thoroughly love. So
oh, okay. This has been a time. I think our discussion has gone all the way off the rails.
Time to go.
We will continue shenanigans in Discord with planning these.
we shall reconvene in the text console.
Okay, I'm going to click the button. Goodbye and thank you.
Bye.
Oops, press button.